Hello and welcome to the Soup Doctor. Now, just as there's a formula for excellent soup, there's a formula for excellent health. And that's eating right, exercising, getting your rest, managing your stress, and taking care of your spine and nervous system. Well, today we're going to make a classic Italian minestrone. Now, I came up with the idea for minestrone when I walked in the market today. I didn't have anything in mind in particular, and then as I walked through the produce aisle, I saw zucchinis were on special, looking really fresh, very nice looking. All right, then I saw some red bell pepper looking good, and mushrooms as well. So it hit me, minestrone. So what we have in today's recipe is the classic mirepoix, onions, and celery. However, instead of carrot, we're going to substitute red bell pepper. Now, I don't like carrot and pepper in the same soup. For some reason, I don't think they work well together. But we're going to have button mushrooms, zucchini, we're going to have chichi beans, red potatoes, Savoy cabbage, turkey sausage, and parsley, as well as sliced garlic and chopped tomato. So as always, we start with sweating the onions, then the celery, then the pepper, then the mushrooms. So let's get started, sweat those down. All right, so as always, we start with a slow pan, meaning it's cold. We're going to add plenty of olive oil to cover the bottom. And to that cold pan, we add the onions first. Salt, plenty of fresh ground black pepper, and red pepper flake. To make an Italian soup, you gotta have red pepper flake. I'm gonna sweat that down 5-7 minutes, and then the celery goes in after that. So as the onions are sweating, let's talk about how you come up with the ingredients for a minestrone soup. Now, loosely translated, minestrone means vegetable soup in Italian. Now, there's certain things that are always in a minestrone, but other than that, you can vary the ingredients based on what looks good and what's on sale, what's fresh and what's looking tasty and in season. So, but the basics, you're always going to see a zucchini, you're going to see a chichi bean, you're going to see a potato and a cabbage. Other than that, you're going to have some tomato always, but you can vary it according to what's your preference at that time. So when you make a soup formula, you don't get married to ingredients. You know the basic steps, the times to put things in, and then you vary those ingredients based on what looks good, what's fresh, and what's tasty and available. Now, a critical step is, as the onions are sweating and they're almost done, you want to add the garlic right before the celery. Garlic and onions go really well together, so I'm going to add this a few minutes before the celery, so let's go do that now. So now the onions, the celery, the garlic are sweating, and I just want to take a minute to mention what we have here is Italian hot turkey sausage. Now you notice this percentage of protein in this whole volume of vegetable is about a healthy ratio of protein to vegetable. Now sausage isn't the best thing for you. It's not awful, but a little bit of nice sausage flavor to a lot of vegetables, you have to understand is going to make the whole dish that much tastier. So would you rather have your kid eat 2 bowls of big minestrone soup full of vegetables and a teeny bit of sausage, or chicken fingers and french fries? So think about it. A little bit goes a long way, really helps the dish stand out even for kids. So speaking of the sausages, we're going to cut those in very small pieces. But you'll notice I brown these, and a principle in a good soup formula is always brown your proteins separately. Now all this good color is going to add tremendous flavor. So what we're going to do is cut in very small pieces so it's evenly distributed throughout the entire soup without having too much in one serving. So here we go, we're going to cut it up in quarters there. Okay, so the celery is almost done sweating, so next we're going to add the pepper, mushroom, and zucchini. And they take about the same amount of time to sweat, so we're going to add them, and then the soup is almost done. All right, so let's talk about the cabbage we're adding today. Now this is Savoy cabbage. Now Savoy cabbage looks like green cabbage that's wrinkled, and it has much more delicate texture to it than green cabbage. However, you could use green cabbage, you could use any type of cabbage other than red. I think red would bleed into the soup. But cabbage is in the family of the lily and cruciferous vegetables, which are high in sulfur and they're very, very high in antioxidants. And they help your body produce what's called glutathione, which is your body's most powerful antioxidant. So eating cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, onions, garlic, all those class of vegetables are extremely healthy, anti-cancer, antioxidant properties. So we're going to add that cabbage in just a few minutes as soon as the rest of the vegetables are done sweating. All right, so the last ingredient you see here is flat leaf Italian parsley. We're going to chop that up and add it with these other ingredients. Now, tomatoes, potatoes, beans, cooked proteins, parsley don't need to be sweated. So what we'll do is add the stock to the vegetables, bring it to a simmer, add these vegetables, and the soup just needs to finish up over about 45 minutes. So we're ready to add the stock, but before you do, it's always a great time at this moment to add dried herbs. Now, today I'm going to add some cinnamon basil, and a patient of mine was lovely enough to give this to me. And so we're going to add some of it today, about a quarter teaspoon. Okay, so as you can see, the soup's reduced by a couple inches and it's pretty much done. Now, at this stage, you always want to taste for salt and pepper, see if it needs any particular seasoning to finish it off. And also, traditionally, you'll see macaroni in minestrone soup. Now, I don't recommend that you cook uncooked pasta in a soup. It tends to draw out the stock and it adds too much starch to the soup. So if you really want to add it, cook it separately, put it in a bowl and put the soup over top right before service. And that way you can reheat the soup over and over again without having it dissolve into the soup, create a mushy type of sensation there. Other than that, enjoy.